Imagine your job is to grow wheat, and every morning you have to ask yourself one simple question. Will my tractor explode today? Welcome to farming in Ukraine. Usually, being a farmer is quite a tough gig. You have to get up early, battle weather, fuel costs, broken equipment, yet another government paper made by a drunk designer. But then, Ukrainian farmers received their very own bonus round, landmines. Just in case agricultural work wasn't tough enough already. Ukraine has a history of producing grains. From wheat to corn to sunflower oil, the things that just sit in your cupboard and rarely remind you of the people growing them. Prior to the complete invasion of Russia, Ukraine was one of the world's leading food exporters. In other words, when it came to global agriculture, Ukraine was that kid who does everything. Then came the Russian invasion, and thousands of farms suddenly ceased being farms. They turned into drawers filled with war leftovers. Remember that drawer in your apartment where you keep batteries, cables, screws, and some kind of metal junk that you don't want to throw away? Imagine that your field has become such a drawer, and that the metal junk is now a mine. It seems easy to understand. You cannot farm on potentially lethal soil. This statement might seem obvious at first. However, it starts an enormous chain reaction. If the field is contaminated with mines, then the farmer cannot plant. If the farmer cannot plant, there will be no harvest. If there is no harvest, there is no income. If there is no income, machinery becomes unusable, debts accumulate, people move out, villages become smaller, and somewhere far away the cost of bread goes up. Congratulations, the mine has not only destroyed a piece of machinery, it has destroyed the entire food chain system. The saddest part is that mines are patient. A missile is noisy, quick, and explosive. A mine is an asshole hiding under the ground like, no rush, I'll wait for you. Farmers sometimes come back after occupation or shelling and encounter some signs of caution. Craters, burned machines, or strange things. The official recommendations are quite simple. Do not try to touch something. Invite specialists. Leave. That's right, but at the same time incredibly annoying because what you are leaving is your living. Imagine, hello, the field is yours. Unfortunately, it may contain a couple of killer pancakes. Now we have farmers who become amateur risk managers, logistics experts, and amateur psychologists, but definitely not bomb disposal experts, since that is how you die. These people have to determine which pieces of land are safe for cultivation, which land requires checking, which roads to take, which shed looks suspicious, and whether something funny found near the fence should be considered useless trash or an endgame of stupid decisions. And here is how the absurdity turns into caricature. The farmer does not want to invade anyone. He is not trying to get any medals. He just wants to plant sunflowers. However, before doing the most peaceful work, seeding, someone should first find out whether this soil has any weapons. Besides, there is the problem of farming equipment. In today's world, farming equipment is highly advanced and costly. A combine harvester is not just an old rusty lawnmower with a complex about its self-worth. It can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So once the tractor runs into a mine, it means that a whole farm business is being blown up into oblivion. Yes, there are demining units, dogs, equipment, maps, drones, international initiatives, and many people doing an absolutely dangerous job to clean up the territory. But Ukraine is a huge country. Farmland is huge. War contamination is chaotic. Mines don't line up and say, hey, I am dangerous. They bury, scatter with the weather, blow up with rockets, hide in the grass, or mix with other rubbish. Therefore, the process will not be war finishes, and then farming returns to its usual mode. It will be closer to war finishes, and then the territory keeps having trust problems for years. This is the true horror. The battlefield doesn't go away after the army departs. It remains under the soil, under the wheat, near the road, next to the barn, waiting for someone, farmers, children, dogs, or whoever trying to put fences right. Farmers in Ukraine are not merely providing sustenance, but are working on a piece of land which has become an ambush ground due to a war not their own choice. Yet somehow, a large majority of them persevere, because there are people who need bread, animals which need food, families who need money, and fields that don't plant themselves. Yet somehow they still managed to produce the bread, which is either heroic, insane, or just farming with extra steps.